Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing to my videos on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at the Sita1. You can find daily posts of the tarot cards on Instagram and Sita's Astroenergy, this is the Astroenergy, Sita's tarot readings, weekly tarot readings on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at the Sita1. My name is Sita. I'm an intuitive astrologer and psychic tarot reader, and I'm here to share with you the upcoming energies from December 11th to the 17th. Okay, big news for the week. So we have Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, and Neptune all direct. Uranus continues its retrograde motion, and so does Mars. Mars won't be out until January sometime. And so what does this mean? Well, I've talked about retrograde movement before. And with the bigger planets, it takes a long time to ramp up. I know some astrologers think all of a sudden things change. And we do get hints of some different forces moving in. So maybe a release of something. Maybe you've waited for something to happen, like you needed to receive some documents or talk to someone, and it's been delay upon delay, and all of a sudden you see hope that there's a signal or a sign or some kind of communication or news that this is going to start to move forward, but it hasn't happened completely yet. It's a very weird time because of that Uranus retrograde, which is the higher octave of Mercury, the Mars retrograde, which is our impulsiveness, our anger, our wanting to be physical and get things happen, and it's retrograde, in Mercury's ruling sign, Gemini. So those talks may be misinterpreted. Now it is moving back to the point where it started. Eventually it'll be there. And so what's the issues that are coming up are things that you saw when it started to move retrograde, or it started to move into Gemini in the summer. So that's something to think about. Just pay attention to what's happening, and you may be able to link it to past events and say, okay, I tried it then, it didn't work, it's still a delay, but now I see some kind of movement. With Saturn, the Sun is going to sextile Saturn on Monday. So you will know what issues you're working with. This is a good thing. With Saturn positioned in Aquarius, it does trine this Mars retrograde, even though it's a loose trine. And it does help us to form a realistic plan of what needs to be done. So even though there are delays, and Saturn can be a planet of delay too, because it wants you to work something out deeply so that there's form to it, and it's long lasting, and it also eliminates the karmic effect, the bad karmic effect. So that's Saturn. Saturn is the teacher. It's the father of time. So I think we have a lot of this time delay. You might even feel that time is kind of strange, the way it's happening. It's fast, it's slow, all those kind of things. And that's the energy of these planets moving on. By the 14th, the Virgo moon will help us focus. And it's going to be good because there's a potential to be misled during this period as the Sun squares Neptune after that Mercury and Venus. So Neptune is that nebulous planet, great imagination, dreams, all those things, but illusion. And it's moving forward, so whatever was kept back now will start to build. So you may have hope and faith and that's Jupiter too. It's still in Pisces, so moving to Aries, in something that isn't going to work out the exact way that you planned. It's great to have the dreams, be realistic, bring Saturn into it, and involve other people. Saturn is in Aquarius, and that talks about the community. Venus will quincunx Mars. Now, with quincunx, there's a lot of adjustment there, and so in that quincunx, you'll just have to work out issues of creativity and the drive and the ambition. And remember, Mars is retrograde, so you're going to be held back in certain ways. By Saturday, Mercury trines Uranus. And this could be some kind of breakthrough, either on an intellectual, inspirational level. I think it's really wonderful. And the Venus and the Sun will change, and this change is smooth. So just keep this in mind that as Sunday comes up, I know it's not the 17th, it's the 18th, but there's an asteroid called Ceres, and it's moving into Libra. Now, Ceres actually rules the union, so you've been seeing a lot about the unions, about negotiation, about lawsuits, all those kind of things. It moves into Libra, so this is the sign of cooperation, of balance, of negotiation, of more harmonious relationships where Libra wants everybody to be happy. So I think this is a good thing, and hopefully with Saturn there, forcing us to look at how these rulings and contracts and negotiations will affect the whole community, I think that's a good thing. So that's really positive. Now, we do have another retrograde coming up at the end of the month where you'll have to stay tuned for that, and I'll be talking about the Mercury retrograde. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. You can find my videos on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at the Sita One, along with the daily posts of the tarot cards on Instagram and Sita's weekly tarot readings on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at the Sita One. So remember that it's a real test of our ability to really focus on the present with the deep breathing, with a good spiritual practice, with walks, all those things. I know I say it every week, but I'm just reminding you that it does make a difference. And this is where the test is when we see all these disruptions, people not cooperating, not understanding things, delays, questions. The ability to be patient with that and patient with yourself, that you are not responsible to give people all the answers. They need to work it out for themselves. Also, you can direct them in a good direction to resolve it for themselves, give them the tools, maybe depends on what kind of role you're playing in their lives. And then you take a breath and step back. And for some of us, this is really hard to do the stepping back phase. But if you can do that, you will learn an awful lot. And I think it's going to pay off next year. There's a lot of things going on next year as planets move. And it seems to be a more hopeful time. But I still think we have a lot of lessons to learn. I mean, here we are on this planet. And we're here to discover our God consciousness and awareness of our own spirit and how it fits in with the whole universe. So the challenges and tests are not going to stop. But remember to take care of yourself and others, and I'll see you next time.